Excuse me, you people have started again.
So,
You have started again.
Vinci.
Yeah, I want to say it's not even just like stuff around the house. Like when it comes to things like dating, like for yeah,
The lost cause.
yeah, like yeah, there's no such thing for the girls, and then for the guys, like yeah, when my brother started dating, my dad sat down, had a conversation with him, you know, told him about the birds and bees. But with me, there was no conversation. Like,
Yeah, I
he
never
told
know.
me I went to boarding school for high school, and he told me when like on the ride there, he was like, "Don't get pregnant." That's it.
That's it?
That was all. So
And your
yeah.
mom never told you about that?
I mean, my mom, yeah, but like for my dad, that just wasn't like. And even when we talk about dating now, like my family, you know, they'll go around the table and be like, "Oh, my brother's name is Jabari. Like, who are you dating, Jabari?" And he'll say whatever. And then when it comes up to me, they're like, everybody's like,
Do they even ask you that question? Or?
they'll ask, but my dad is like waiting for me to say like, it better be no.
better
He's
be
like
no,
looking at
better
me
be
like, it
nothing.
better be no.
Nah, that's setting up a trap there. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Rashawn?
Bro, I mean, about like dating?
Yeah, no, if you got any similar experience. Because I was going to honestly get a segue to that.
My parents are so avoidant about stuff that they don't want to hear.
Uh,
Which makes like that's like a sneaky kid's dream. You know what I'm saying? Like they never like prom night senior year. I was like, oh, like I told my dad, I was like, I'm gonna go sleep over at my friend's house after, and this was like as we were about to leave. This was like the only time he's ever mentioned it. He was like, don't do anything stupid, but I knew that meant like
Yeah.
don't drink or
means
smoke or
everything.
anything like that.
Yeah.
But that was like the only time he ever alluded to drugs or alcohol in my life. The other time was when I was committing to LMU, and I used to be like a dancer, and I was like quitting dance like in college, and he was like, he gave me this like long ass talk about like eliminating distractions,
kept it
and
broad,
I was like,
kept it very broad.
no, exactly, and I was like, oh, don't worry, I quit already, like you know, because I was like, he hated it, so I was like, whatever, and then he was like, no, you know, not just that, you know.
I know what it is. You know what it is.
Yeah,
No,
not just that, you know.
That's fine.
Boys, da 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 da, and I was like, what? Like, but yeah. Besides that, they've never mentioned anything. When we did like sex ed in like middle school, we like had an assignment where we had to go home and like talk to our parents about like sex or whatever, and like they had to like sign off on it or something. And that was like the only time I ever talked to my mom about it, and the only thing she said was, "Don't do it until marriage." My dad made jokes about like don't date until you're. He literally would say like don't date until marriage, which
That
is
doesn't
like
make any sense.
he's just trying to get you. But there is no conversation. I'm leading blindly, which means I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. What I was gonna do anyways, but like yeah, there's no rules.
My dad won't find out that I'm dating
Until I'm married.
married.
No, exactly.
the wedding invitation.
No, but that part, I don't think there's like like anybody worth bringing home unless I know like it could be
For
somebody
sure,
I married,
of
because
course.
like
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah, for my
don't work out.
for my brother, he can bring home as many girls as he wants.
Bring 'em
Yeah,
home?
that's
Yeah.
a boy thing. Like if I were a boy in high school and dating, I could have brought anyone home. I bet you.
I think my family situation is a little different, but like, well, not just a little, but I like my dad has like helped my brother like sneak out girls from the house because he didn't want my stepmom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Now, would that happen
that's
for
extreme.
me? Oh no, I would get my ass beat. So, like,
Oh, you
yeah.
said sneak them out so your mom doesn't find out?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's definitely an extreme.
they have a little alliance.
That's so terrifying.
No, I mean, I think I'm more, like I said with Rashawn on this type, in response to this, because at least for me, like, yeah, I've never had those conversations with my parents, ever. Literally until, like, this past year. That's it. So, what, I'm going on 21 now, 20 years of nothing, but, like, it is what it is, because, like, I have older siblings, and
Yeah.
they're not, like, what, a year or two older than me. Like I said, like, my older brother's 9 years, older sister's 6 years older than me, so if I ever need to talk to them about that type of stuff, I just go to them. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, you know, usually you hear those kind of conversations from your parents, so it's just like, damn, why did they never? I mean, who's gonna tell me? Unless they kind of know, like, you know, you have these older siblings who are older than you by significant years. Look to them for that type of stuff, right? But it all comes back to like what you said, they're trying to avoid the conversations, or whenever they do it, they keep it so
keep
broad.
it so
like,
vague.
oh yeah,
like,
girls, just make sure your head is focused on the right thing,
You know,
which is your education.
And
Exactly.
like, straight up, I'm not even out here making like any type of excuse. I'm also like, whenever that like similar situations would happen to me, in which I'd be like, dang, I feel like I should have been told about this, or you know, like, dang, I feel like I could have really, really benefited from like my coming of age as a young man to like just having this conversation with my father and my mother. I would.
Trigger warning.
I'm telling you,
actually,
straight
like
up.
genuinely.
Like I realized, well, I won't say like I just realized at that point, but it really did make me think. And we don't even really got to delve into this that much, but I was just like, I mean, raising like I sometimes I did think about my parents when I was growing up as like superhuman figures, like infallible in a sense.
Yeah.
So like I expected like perfection from them, and it wasn't actually until I got older, until like I really understood their imperfections. Like I was able to put a name to some of the stuff that upset me when I was younger, and then like I was able to come to terms with it. And, you know, like approach them and you know see what the relationship had to offer from that type of point. All I'm gonna say is just that like something that I've realized